Greetings, bloggers, vloggers, followers, and potters. Dustin here from Dustin's Dynasty with another edition of this week's vlog. So this week we're going to talk about autistic burnout, and maybe we have talked about it. If we did, I will be sharing a link up above to one of the videos if I can find any as the video rolls along. So autistic burnout is a new term. It is, if I haven't mentioned it before in another video, I've done over 200 videos on my channel, so I may have come across. I will do a search and find out. But what autistic burnout is we're just tired of having too much of having to fall into societal norm and what being a neurotypical person is. And for me, that has been 2 decades or more, or even my whole life, even as I'm 37, figuring out that I've been falling into the societal norm for extremely too long of a time. It's not easy. Back in the day, back in 2 decades ago, it was probably made to fall into societal norm because there was not things, adaptations, accommodations, what have you, in the school system in my proper community to properly address these concerns. Um, as time goes on, we're learning more and more about autism as I have came out of the dark ages of it 20, 30 years ago. Um, there's a lot more we know, and a lot more that we know that helps. And as such, I'm realizing that I've let too much of my guard up for so long that it's starting to tear apart slowly, as time goes on. I'm starting to realize that I'm nearing my burnout point. Um, I've always known that I've once in a while that I've had so much to burnout, but I've never taken. It's not been until I've taken time for me to realize that I've needed to take time for me. And about 3 years ago, I want to say, I start 2 or 3, maybe a little over 2, that I've started to realize that I need to start taking burnout, but I was not properly taking care of myself at the time. And now that I am properly taking care of myself, I'm seeing the true benefits of practicing self care and doing things that are restorative in nature to help improve, that focus. So if so how do I know that I'm in autistic burnout? Well, I do know that I'm in autistic burnout when I'm just not me. I'm not able to perform the functions of the daily regimen that is expected of me. I am just burnout. I am tired. I am just exhausted. I can't even function. I can't even speak in some instances. I can't even make a phone call or do things that, neurotypicals expect us to do in a world, that we just can't do those things. They're just not possible. And that is how, you're not able to function in society in a world that is not made for us. You need to take some break, and you need to break and have a little bit of energy and restore that energy and build it back into you however you see fit. Um, it can be hard to accept sometimes, but in the end, it is for the best. It's not easy, but with enough practice and encouragement and support from others, that it really you can really get into that. I'm very thankful that I have a nice support team at the day program and at the work that I can take time when I need it, and that I am financially sound and be able to do so. It's not easy to say, okay, well, I need to take a day for me. And in the past 2 weeks, I have taken one extra day a week for myself. And even as we get into the weekend here, where I'm recording this video, it took until today to record this video, but I dedicated last night to restoring my health and getting back somewhat on track to where I am now. Sometimes it's just building that energy back, and sometimes you have to do things too that produce energy and cause positive energy within you. It's something that's not going to make you deplete more energy than what you've already have depleted from you. You need to work on it, restoring that energy and regaining a lot of that energy that you have lost over time. It's not easy to admit that. I'm the first to tell you, it's hard to say no to something and just stay home or stay and have to practice yourself and know that you can. Now I know that, excuse me, that I had to do that, within last week. I slept excessively for over 10 hours because I was just so burnt out from so much overload in the past week that I had to take time for myself to recharge and get at least get through the rest of this week until last night. And then last night I was able to get back into a somewhat rhythm of getting back into self-care and taking care of what I need to take care of until today. And then today, seems to be okay, but we'll see how it goes. I'm not going to do too much. I'm not going to overexert myself or try to push myself to the limit. It's about not pushing yourself to the limit. Um, for me, I work for 2 5-hour days, so that's not a lot, but it can be if you don't allow it to be. For me, it can be a lot, especially because they're high packed in energy and flow and things of that nature. So when that happens, I have to understand it. I have to also take restorative time for myself to learn and grow and get back into rhythm. However challenging that may be or hard that may be to endure, it is important to take that time. And, I never realized how hard it is after 20 years of having a diagnosis of autism, how beneficial it is just to have a little bit of time and restore your health and your batteries of being, that autism can cause you. The world's just not made for us. It's plain and clear. It's plain and simple as day. And when we have to go out into a world that just isn't made for us, it's very taxing. It's very challenging. As such, I have to sometimes make my trips in the community focused around things that are more helpful to me than they are not. That may mean going and doing something on a takeout basis or having it delivered or having a delivery where I don't have to interact with someone or going to a store that I may pay more for something because it is more valuable to pay more for it uh, than go to a store where it's going to be low cost but more people and more sensory overload and more issues in getting there or getting something from there. So, it's all in that healthy balance, I think, and understanding that you have to know what balance there is in the grand scheme of things, and knowing that it is whatever it takes to be essential in the world of knowing that you have to do what's for you and if nobody understands that, that's on them, but you need to at least share some articles of that. And I have done some reading on autistic burnout and how challenging it is. And I think it's come to more to light as lockdowns and pandemic state of thinking has been occurring over the past 2.5 years. We're learning more and more that we're just having to go back and forth all the time or having to switch a way of thinking is always a challenge. It's never easy to just say, okay, I'm going to do this and fall into the 9 to 5 form that everybody falls into in a neurotypical world. But we need time to recharge more than neurotypical people because our our drain field is just so full of stuff, and we're thinking twice the speed sometimes, or more and more about things. Where our brain is constantly in hyperdrive. We're constantly thinking things. We're constantly, and when we exert all this energy, we're just so drained and so burnt out that it's just unreal, and that we have to learn and grow and be, understand better, to let things go sometimes. And even if we don't want to, we don't want to let things go because we like them or we feel we can get something out of them. It may be better for in the long run for us to do that and us to let go of some things that we can easily get rid of and not, overwork ourselves or overpower ourselves full of work and load and full of energy and full of, just too much. So, it's balancing that energy. It's making it work for you. It's making being able to keep your be able to recharge when you can. And that may mean even shutting down or just going into the bedroom and just saying, hey, I'm not answering no emails. I'm not answering no phone calls. I'm okay, but I'm just going to relax and I'm going to recharge for a little bit. It's not easy to say that. It's not easy to do those things, but you have to understand that your top priority when it comes to needing your resources and your well-being. It's very important to take care of yourself. You can't pour from an empty cup, as they say. And if you know you can't pour, you have nothing to pour, you have nothing to offer anyone because you are so drained and out of energy, then you have to do the right thing and you have to do what is right by restoring that energy and rebuilding that energy, um, so that you can get out there and do the things that you enjoy and love and have a passion for. And yes, you can have some interest when you're recharging and build that energy back, but it has to be something that you're going to enjoy and you're going to build that energy off of. So that's important too. Um, I want to thank Asperger's from the Inside, Purple Ella, and a few other writers, Mind Your Social Brain as well, for including all of their advice. I did listen to a lot of their vlog posts when I was learning about autistic burnout and discovering that I am experiencing it. All the reading through all your content really helped me see where I am and that I'm not totally there, but I am getting there, and that if I can spearhead it off every day, every week, every month, and every year by taking extra time for myself, that I can too be well and stay well and be well for others. I do want to mention that medication is helping with that. I know medication is not everybody's forte, so to speak, but for me, I'm realizing that I'm back in the rhythm. I'm doing well. I actually took my medicine at 11 o'clock last night and didn't go to bed at 1:30 and got up at 7. So I seem to be doing pretty well with the medication regimen, and that is helping coincide with the rest breaks and so forth. I want to thank you for listening today. As always, be sure to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Dustin's Dynasty, on the web at DustinsDynastyUSA.com, on Pinterest and TikTok at Dustin's Dynasty ASD. This vlog will be transcoded into a podcast that the video version will be available on Spotify, and all other versions will be available on all other streaming platforms that I am on through the Anchor app. I want to thank everybody for listening, and be sure to have a good week, everyone. Take care, and bye for now.